Hi friends, we are going to do a quiz today. In last video, we learnt about methods of separation and today we are going to learn how to write answers. So let's get started. Topic 1, Introduction to Mixtures and Separation. Question, what is a mixture as defined in the context of handpicking? 1 mark. Answer, a mixture is formed when two or more substances are mixed together. Question, why did Nani explain that separation of stones from grains is necessary before cooking? 1 mark. Answer, separation is done to remove impurities like stones so that the grains become fit for cooking. Question, state the two main purposes for which we separate substances from a mixture. 2 marks. Answer, to separate two different but useful components. To remove a component that is not useful. Question, which separation method did Kabir hint at in his statement? 1 mark. Answer, winnowing.
Topic 2. Handpicking. Question, define the method of handpicking. 1 mark. Answer, handpicking is the method of picking substances by hand from a mixture on the basis of differences in their size, color, and shape. Question, under what conditions is handpicking considered a convenient method of separation? 2 marks. Answer, when the particles to be removed are present in small quantities. When the particles can be easily picked by hand due to visible differences in size, color, or shape. Question, give 3 examples of handpicking mentioned in the source. 3 marks. Answer, separating small stones and husk from wheat or rice. Separating whole black peppers from a plate of vegetable pulao. Taking out seeds from a watermelon. Question, case-based question. Nani gave Malli and Valli a challenge to handpick stones from grains with their eyes closed. Is this scientifically a proper way to perform handpicking? Give a reason. 2 marks. Answer, no. This is not a proper scientific way because handpicking relies on the basis of visible differences like color and shape. Without sight, one cannot distinguish these physical characteristics to separate them accurately. Topic 3. Threshing. Question, what is threshing? 1 mark. Threshing is the process of separating grains from the stalks by beating the stalks. Question, how is threshing traditionally performed by farmers in the fields? 2 marks. Bundles of harvested wheat stalks are first spread in the sun for drying. Farmers then beat these dried stalks on a large wooden log to shake off the grains. Question, 1-word answer. What are the modern machines used to perform both threshing and winnowing simultaneously called? Answer, threshers. Question, assertion. Farmers often sing folk songs while threshing. Reason, threshing is a hard-working process and songs help them enjoy their work. 1 mark. Answer, both the assertion and the reason are true and the reason correctly explains why they sing. Topic 4. Winnowing. Question, define the method of winnowing. 1 mark. Answer, winnowing is the method of separating heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing air. Question, what is a soup and what is its role in separation? 2 marks. Answer, a soup is a traditional bamboo tree. It is used to hold a mixture of threshed grains and husk so they can be separated by the wind. Question, reasoning. Why does husk blow away while grains fall in a heap during winnowing? 2 marks. Answer, husk is the lighter component of the mixture, which is easily carried away by the direction of the wind. Grains are the heavier component, so they fall vertically down to form a separate pile. Question, application. Valli is in a closed room and wants to separate husk from rice. Why is she unable to do so and how can you help her? 3 marks. Answer, She is unable to do it because winnowing requires moving air or wind to carry away the lighter husk. There is no natural wind in a closed room. You can help her by using a fan to create blowing air, which will act as the separating force. Topic 5. Sieving. Question. On what basis does the process of sieving work? 1 mark. Answer. Sieving is used when components of a solid-solid mixture have different sizes. Question. How does a sieve separate fine flour from bran? 2 marks. Answer. The fine flour particles are small enough to pass through the holes of the sieve. Bigger particles, such as bran and small stones, remain on top of the sieve. Question. Give an application of sieving used outside of the kitchen. 1 mark. Answer. Sieving is used at construction sites to separate pebbles and stones from sand. Question. Hard or conceptual? Will sieving work if the holes of the sieve are larger than both substances in the mixture? Why? 2 marks.
No, sieving will not work in this case. If the holes are larger than both substances, all components will pass through and no separation will occur. Topic 6. Evaporation. Question. Define evaporation. 1 mark. Answer. Evaporation is the process in which a liquid gets converted into its vapor. Question. How is common salt obtained from seawater? 3 marks. Answer. Seawater is collected in shallow pits and exposed to sunlight and air. Over a few days, the water evaporates completely due to the heat. A solid mixture of salts is left behind, from which common salt is obtained through further purification. Question. Why are herbal ingredients like roots and leaves dried in the shade in the Ayurveda system? 2 marks. Answer. Shade drying facilitates the evaporation of excess water from the plant parts. This leaves behind the important medicinal part of the herb. Question. Name a water body in India mentioned in the source that is a source of common salt. 1 mark. Answer. Sambhar Lake in Rajasthan. Question. Reasoning. Why do white patches appear on dark-colored clothes during hot summers? 2 marks. Answer. Sweat contains salt dissolved in water. In summer, the water from the sweat evaporates, leaving the solid salt behind as white patches. Topic 7. Sedimentation and decantation. Question. Differentiate between sedimentation and decantation. 2 marks. Answer. Sedimentation is the process where heavier, insoluble components settle at the bottom of a liquid. Decantation is the process of removing the liquid by tilting the vessel without disturbing the settled solid. Question. Give one everyday example where decantation is used to clean food. 1 mark. Answer. Decantation is used in the washing and cleaning of rice and pulses. Question. Why is decantation not considered a proper or complete method for removing tea leaves from tea? 2 marks. Answer. Decantation does not completely separate all the tea leaves. A few tea leaves may still pour out with the liquid and end up in the cup. Question. Application. You have a mixture of oil and water. Based on the property that they do not mix, which method would you use to separate them? 1 mark. Answer. Decantation. Topic 8. Filtration. Question. What is filtration? 1 mark. Filtration is the process of separating insoluble solid components from a liquid using a filter. Question. Define residue and filtrate in the context of filtering muddy water. 2 marks. Answer. Residue. The mud particles that remain on the filter paper. Filtrate. The clear water that passes through the filter and is collected in the flask. Question. Why can a piece of cloth be used as a filter? 2 marks. Answer. A piece of cloth has very small holes or pores between the woven threads. These pores allow liquid to pass while trapping larger solid particles. Question.
How has the material used for tea bags evolved over time? 3 marks. They were initially made of soft cloth like silk because it was strong and let water pass. Later, people used gauze or muslin. Today, most tea bags are made of filter paper.
Question. Application hard. You need to filter very fine mud that passes through a cloth. What should you use and why? Answer. You should use filter paper. Filter paper has even finer pores than cloth, which can trap smaller impurities. Question. Case-based. Valli observed a fisherman's net and related it to filtration. How is a fishing net similar to a filter? Answer. The mesh of the net acts like a filter that allows water to drain out, pass through. The fish, being larger than the holes in the mesh, are trapped, act as residue. Okay, now topic 9, churning. Question. What is the purpose of churning curd? Answer. Churning is used to extract butter from curd. Question. Explain the principle behind separating butter by churning. Answer. A big mathni, churner, is used to stir the curd. Butter, being the lighter component, floats to the top, while the buttermilk remains behind. Okay, now topic 10, magnetic separation. Question. Define magnetic separation. Answer. The separation of magnetic and non-magnetic substances by using a magnet is called magnetic separation. Question. What are magnetic substances? Give an example. Substances that are attracted towards a magnet are called magnetic substances. Iron is a common example. Question. How do industrial recyclers separate iron from massive heaps of waste? 2 marks. Answer. They use cranes fitted with large, powerful magnets. These magnets pull the iron scrap from the heap so it can be recycled. Alright, now let us come to topic 11, multi-step separation. Question. Long answer. You are given a mixture of potatoes, salt and sawdust. Outline a stepwise procedure to separate each component. 5 marks. Answer. Step 1. Hand picking. Remove the large potatoes from the mixture by hand as they differ significantly in size. Step 2. Dissolution. Add water to the remaining salt and sawdust mixture. Salt will dissolve in the water. Step 3. Filtration. Pour the mixture through a filter. The sawdust, insoluble, will be trapped as residue and the salt solution will pass through as filtrate. Step 4. Evaporation. Heat the filtrate salt solution or leave it in the sun. The water will evaporate. Step 5. Collection. Solid salt will be left behind in the vessel once all water has disappeared.